Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video and welcome back to NBA 2K16. Now this episode is not going to have any sort of game being played where, of course I'm playing as the Cavaliers in a game against another team. We're going to save that for next episode, but I have been playing this game a lot in my free time. I've gotten quite addicted to the game, and for that reason, I have played through 16 more games in the season, which is a lot. And so I wanted to show off my record. I wanted to show off the box scores for each game, compare the scores of those games to what actually happened in real life, and then check out some statistics for the players on my team. So this video should not be tremendously long. It'll probably range a little over 10 minutes, somewhere around there. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it shouldn't be that long. So we're 16-1. We've won 16 games in a row. In a fucking row. That is a lot. Now, the game after the Bulls, we played the Memphis Grizzlies, and we won by 1 point. And we're going to view the box score here. That's not who I want. Okay, so, as you can see over here, we kind of let them come back a little bit in the third quarter, but overall we scored 2 more points than they did in the fourth quarter, giving us the win. But in terms of scoring, Kyrie Irving with the most points, 26 points, and then Kevin Love with 25. Kyrie Irving ultimately carrying the team on his back in that regard. So that's really all I wanted to talk about when I'm doing these videos, is just showing off the box score and, just the box score. So there's that. For that game. And then on October 30th, we played the Miami Heat. We won 115-103, although the game was closer than you may think. We outscored them by 12 points in the fourth quarter, which means that the entire game was very close, and indeed it was. LeBron James scored 30 points, Kyrie Irving 27, a double-double. Tristan Thompson had a double-double. Kevin Love with 23 points, and then everyone else was kind of down here. And this was sort of the beginning of the trend of the downward spiral of J.R. Smith. And as you will see in the future, I replaced him with Iman Shumpert in the starting lineup, and Iman Shumpert has been a lot better. You will see that in the future here. So there's that game. We played relatively well in that game. We could have played better. And then at this point, we started just beating the crap out of teams. Playing the 76ers next. Obviously, they're not a good team in real life or in this game. We won 114-96. That's the wrong team. And then LeBron James scoring 36 points. Kevin Love 22 points, recording a double-double. And then everyone else sort of followed suit. And let me see. J.R. Smith had 16 points. As you can see, his minutes are starting to go down, and Iman Shumpert's are starting to go up. And while Iman Shumpert's minutes are going up, so are his point numbers and his overall statistics. He is beginning to play better than J.R. Smith at this point, so I made him my starter. Okay, there's that game. Next, we played the Knicks. We beat the crap out of them, beat them by 23, and how are they 9-8? In this at the point we're at right now? How are they 9-8? I don't understand that. See, this was the first game that I made Iman Shumpert. No, I didn't make Iman Shumpert my starter in this game. He was a sixth man. He had more minutes than J.R. Smith, but I didn't make him the starter because I figured give J.R. Smith one more chance, even with one less minute, and see if he can do better, if he can have a fantastic game, and he didn't. So at this point, Iman Shumpert became the starter, and he outscored everybody else as a sixth man. So he since has become a primary scorer for us on our team. As you will see here in the box score, he will be leading the Cavs in scoring in a majority of these games, because that's really what he's good at. He's not, as you can see, he's not really good for rebounds, assists, or anything. He's more of a point scorer. So there's that game. Kyrie Irving, of course, 18 points. Everyone else following suit. Then we played the 76ers again, beat them by even more than last time. Kyrie Irving almost had the double-double. LeBron James, double-double. Shumpert only had 12 points that game. He wasn't the starter here, actually. J.R. Smith was again. Really? Why did I do that? Why did I make it that way? I don't know. Yeah, J.R. Smith did score more points, but he did have 9 more minutes. I'm not going to try and completely discredit him, though. So there's that game. Played the Pacers after that. They're supposed to be a good team. They're not right now. No one in the East is playing really well. I guess that's how it is in real life. We beat them by 20 points. Kevin Love had a double-double. Kyrie Irving had a triple-double. And then there we go. Shumpert is now the starter because he played 36 minutes. J.R. Smith played 20. And he had the lowest scoring. Fry and Mozgov were in there for longer periods of time, and they scored more than J.R. Smith did. See, that's the downward spiral. He's not playing. He wasn't playing well. He's playing better now. Currently, he's scoring more. He's helping out more. So we're gonna see that not immediately, but soon enough. The game was a bit tighter against the Jazz. They were a bit of a tougher opponent, and here's Shumpert leading the box score. Love with a double-double, and him being the only one with a double-double. This game was a little tougher. I don't know. It was difficult to get out of the gate and get an early lead. By halftime, we had a 12-point lead, and that's what we ended up with at the end of the game. We had an 18-point lead going into the fourth quarter, but when we got that lead, we decided to put in some more of our backups and everything. We couldn't score as much, couldn't play as well, as good of defense as we should. So there's that. That was against the Jazz. We played the Knicks again. This game was tight. This game was very tight. This game would have been... The score does not reflect how close this game actually was because, of course, they had to start fouling us and sending us to the free throw line to try and make a comeback. Shumpert leading scoring again. Kyrie Irving with a double-double. LeBron James with a double-double. And Kevin Love with a double-double. So the big three each got double-doubles there. Thompson almost had one. And as you can see, the bench did not do a lot of scoring this game. The only bench scoring was by Dellavedova, and he only had 4 points. We basically had to completely rely on the starting lineup for this game, which might have been why this game was tighter. However, we did score 126 points, so I don't know. Obviously, our defense wasn't that good this game, and not nearly as good as it should be. So we played the Bucks after that. This game was extremely tight too. The score again does not reflect that. We went to overtime, as you can see there. Wrong thing. Irving almost had a triple-double. Shumpert, again, right behind him. Well, not right behind him, but you understand what I mean in terms of scoring. And LeBron James is the only one that ends up with a double-double. And then everyone else follows suit. Yeah, this game was a lot tighter than it should have been. We dug ourselves into a hole in the third quarter because we had the advantage coming from halftime, and we kind of blew it a little bit. But in the fourth quarter, we managed to mount a comeback, and we managed to mount a comeback enough to the point where we could send it to overtime and thus win in overtime. So there's that. We played the Pistons. This game was a bit of a blowout. We beat them soundly. LeBron James had his highest scoring game of the season, and that still holds true to where we're at right now. Scored 40 points. Kyrie Irving with a double-double. Kevin Love with the double-double. Tristan Thompson almost had one. And Shumpert did not score as much in this game. It didn't matter. We got everyone in here. And this was the first game where we had Devin Harris and JaVale McGee. We made a trade with the Mavericks. We traded away Jordan McRae and Timofey Mozgov for Devin Harris and JaVale McGee. And I personally feel like we got the better end of that deal. Well, it's still kind of early to determine whether or not that's true, but we'll wait and see. JaVale McGee had 11 minutes, had 7 rebounds, no points. And that's really why I got him. I knew he wasn't going to score a lot. He's not a lot. He's not a scorer by any means, but he is definitely a rebounder and has a defensive mind. So yeah, there's that game. The Bucks, we played them again. We beat them more soundly this time. Kyrie Irving leading in scoring. And then no one recorded a double-double this game, but that's okay. We still won. We still beat the crap out of him, so no problem there. And what you're witnessing with the scores and everything is that no one is having a significant outburst. I mean, LeBron James, of course, had 40 points, 36 points, but no one is having that significant outburst, and that's because we do a lot of distributing with the ball. We don't intentionally make sure that everyone gets their touches and everything. It just sort of happens with the way our offenses runs. We do a lot of assisting, we make a lot of passes, and we just look for the open shot in that regard. So there's that game. We played the Hawks. They are the second best team in the East, and as you can see, they have an 11-7 record. Now over in the West, the Warriors are undefeated, and the Spurs have the same record as us, and then the Clippers only have 2 losses, so the West is a lot better than us right now. They are the second seed at the moment, and we beat the living shit out of them. We outscored them soundly in every quarter. LeBron James had a double-double, almost triple-double. Love had a double-double. Irving had a double-double. Shumpert had a double-double, which you will see rarely out of him. Channing Frye surprisingly had a lot of points. He didn't hit that many threes either. He only hit 2, and threes are what he's really good at. So, yeah, he just put on a show in that regard. No one else really came in the game though. I guess I forgot to make some substitutions during that. I normally do it manually because otherwise they won't put those guys in the game. When we're beating the crap out of somebody, I usually make the substitutions automatically. We played the Magic again. We beat them relatively badly. Kyrie Irving had 16 assists, which was a career high for him. He was the only one with a double-double. LeBron James almost had a triple-double, which would have been nice, but we got the win, so that's all that matters. And then, of course, Devin Harris was the only one to come in, and get some playing time. He didn't score or anything. But J.R. Smith, as you can see, hit the downhill trend, man. He's still at that point, but you're going to start to see him climb back up a little bit once we get closer to the present and everything. You're going to start seeing him kind of go up on an uphill, a little uphill trend. Definitely not anything worthy of making him starter again, but you understand. The Raptors game, this game was very, very, very close. The score should have been really 94-89, but Kyle Lowry hit a full court shot at the end of the game. So they won. We won the game. Shumpert led in scoring. No one really had a significant outburst, as I mentioned before, explaining why. J.R. Smith had a bit of a comeback game. No one recorded any double-doubles or anything, and this was the first game of the season where we didn't score 100 points. Now, that hasn't happened again since. Probably won't happen for a longer period of time, but yeah, we've been very good at scoring, and I guess that time we kind of fell apart a little bit. Played the Hornets, beat the living shit out of them too. Defense was where we were really, really good at. Offense was average. LeBron James and Kyrie Irving with double-doubles. Of course, Shumpert right there in terms of scoring. Everyone got to play a little bit. These guys, James Jones was the only one from these 4 guys, of course, that come into the game only when we're beating the crap out of somebody. He was the only one to score at all. J.R. Smith had a pretty good game. In terms of scoring, he doesn't really do much of anything else other than score. So, yeah, he's like Shumpert in that regard. And then the most recent game I played, we beat the Nets 110-68. We absolutely destroyed them. On defense, it was where we were really dominant. LeBron James had a double-double, was the only one. He didn't score a lot, but he had a lot of assists. And then here, Shumpert, again, dominating the box score in terms of points. Everyone else got to come in and play. Devin Harris had 6 points, James Jones 5, and then Richard Jefferson 2. Mo Williams was the only one that didn't come in and play. And I didn't really make any substitutions in the fourth quarter for that to happen, because there were no timeouts really in the fourth quarter, and I didn't bother with the substitutions because, I mean, it wasn't, a huge deal that he didn't come in and play. So, all right, so those are all the games that I have played in. I'm going to show you some statistics now, like what people are averaging and everything. Yeah, team stats. Is that what I want to... No, that's not what I want. I'm going to go to league leaders. This is where I'm just going to show you guys where everybody ranks. Kevin Durant leading in terms of scoring. That's what this is filtered by. So we're not... none of my guys are really up here. Like, LeBron is 11th. And then, yeah, he's the top one right now on our team. And geez, what the hell, mouse wheel, you're screwing this up or something. He's averaging 22.4 points a game. He would be averaging more if we weren't such a pass-based team, but we are. So that's why he's averaging such a small amount. But it doesn't really matter. We're winning games. That's all that matters. And then Kyrie Irving in 16th, and then Kevin Love shouldn't be far behind. Yep, 21st. Okay. There isn't really a large difference between everybody in terms of points per game, 20.5 and 20.2 and everything. It's not a large difference. It's just there's so many good players, so many good scorers and everything that, knowing it's very hard to, reach significant prominence and everything. And by the way, this roster is not updated with the teams that are... with the teams that have made just trades and signed people in the free agency. That is not applied to this roster, and this won't be applied to this roster because I don't believe I can. I believe I have to select and update a roster before I start a MyGM, which maybe I should have waited until the free agency is done and there's a roster available, or I can create my own roster. But it doesn't really matter. It wouldn't be realistic for last season anyway, because none of those things would have happened last season. But it doesn't really matter. It's not a big deal at all. But that's what I wanted to show off for this episode. I know this is definitely going to be longer than 10 minutes, I think, but it shouldn't be that long. That's all this episode is going to be. Next episode, I'll play a game for you guys. I don't know how much farther ahead I will be in terms of, how many games I played in my free time. Probably, I would say 5 more around there, judging by how often I'm playing the game and everything. So we'll see what happens. Link down to this game is in the description box below. You can get this on PC as well as almost every other console except for the Wii U and, anything Nintendo. You can even get this on last generation Xbox and PlayStation. So it's available in all those regards. It's $60 still, but it is the latest NBA game. So if you want it and you can afford it, I recommend it. It doesn't have great reviews, and the game can definitely be improved in a lot of regards. But it's what we have, and it's better than EA's version in my opinion. So and it's pretty good too. It's pretty fun. Obviously, it's fun if I'm playing it that often in my free time. So if you want to see more of NBA 2K16, let me know down in the comment section below. Like the video and share it with your friends. It lets me know that you want to see more of any game series I do here on the channel. If you have any suggestions for trades or people I should sign in the free agency, let me know down in the comment section below. I will always look at those suggestions and everything, and they will contribute to my decisions. They won't completely influence my decisions, but they will definitely contribute, make me think a little bit. But if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you didn't, tell me why in the comments. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you very much.